Chapter 2. House Hunting. "It's very kind of you to put me up, Sharky," said Pongwiffy to Sharkadder 1 week later. They were in the kitchen of Sharkadder's small cottage in Witchway Wood at the time. "That's all right, Pong," lied Sharkadder, with fingers crossed behind her back. She had, of course, figured Pongwiffy for the disastrous supper party. After all, it hadn't been her fault, as Sharkadder had to admit, when Pongwiffy had grovelled long enough. However, there was a limit to friendship. Pongwiffy had been sleeping in Sharkadder's spare room for over a week now, and was showing no signs of moving out. Sharkadder was a house-proud witch, as witches go. Pongwiffy was a witch of dirty habits. They were sitting at the breakfast table. Sharkadder, who was on a health kick, had made do with a glass of fresh newt juice. Pongwiffy, who wasn't, had worked her way through 2 plates of lice bites, 3 griffin eggs, a pile of toast with jellyfish jam, and 13 cups of hot bog water. She had also finished a trifle from the night before. "I suppose I'll have to start looking for a place of my own one day," said Pongwiffy, licking the trifle plate clean. "Oh, really? What a pity," said Sharkadder insincerely. "I'll just go and get the paper then. We'll see if there's anything suitable." And without even bothering to put on her lipstick, she ran out of the door with what Pongwiffy considered to be indecent haste. Pongwiffy finished up Sharkadder's newt juice and went to the cupboard to raid the biscuit tin, keeping a close eye on dead-eyed Dudley. Dudley was Sharkadder's familiar. A huge, battered black tomcat with 1 yellow eye, a crooked tail, and a very, very bad temper. Rumour had it that Dudley had spent one of his 9 lives as ship's cat on a pirate ship. This would account for the eye patch he wore and his habit of growling strange, piratical sayings. Everybody was terrified of Dudley, except Sharkadder, who loved him dearly. Right now he was asleep on the hearthrug, claws flexing as he dreamed of chasing rats in the hold and whaling sea shanties under tropical moon. Pongwiffy hastily crammed the last 3 icky bickies into her mouth and wondered whether Sharkadder would notice if she cut herself a piece of that delicious-looking fungus. Sponge hidden on the top shelf. Before she could decide, she heard Sharkadder's footsteps hurrying down the path. Hastily, she scuttled back to the table and repositioned herself, humming a casual little hum. In came Sharkadder, with the Daily Miracle under her arm. She glanced disapprovingly at the pool of split bog water, crumbs, broken eggshells, and other assorted droppings at Pongwiffy's feet, and signalled to her broom. It leapt to attention and briskly proceeded to sweep the mess under the rug, giving Pongwiffy's ankles several sharp raps in the process. Pongwiffy's own broom came hurrying up to join in. This cleaning business was quite a novelty. Normally it never did a thing between flights except sleep. Pongwiffy briskly kicked it back into the corner. If there was one thing that annoyed her, it was a domesticated broom. Sharkadder tutted and opened the window to let in some fresh air. Fond as she was of her friend, there was no denying that Pongwiffy's odour tended to get a bit overpowering at times. She cleared a space in the breakfast debris and spread out the newspaper, and running down a finger down the "For Sale" column. "Now then, let's see. Here's one, Igloo, North Pole, apply Yeti, Greenland." "Too far," Pongwiffy said firmly. "Too cold." All right. Well, how about this? Pretty little cottage with roses around the door. All things clean and shiny. Lovely views." "Yuck! Sounds awful," shuddered Pongwiffy. "Well, here's another one then. Cave, Goblin territory. No ceiling, otherwise perfect. That's where I just came from. No thanks. Well, that's all there is today. Oh wait, this sounds interesting. Listen. 3 houses for sale, 1 landing performance ideal for high-flying witches every ModCon. What that mean? Really, don't you know anything? Modern contraptions, of course, said Chalkadder, who were a bit of know-it-all sometimes. It sounds ideal, she continued. We'll go and take a look right away. What now? Bleated Pongwiffy, eyeing the toaster sadly. Certainly. We must strike while the iron is hot, replied Sharkadder, and bustled away to put on her lipstick. By the time Pongwiffy had exchanged her filthy old dressing gown for a filthy old cardigan, and chased the spiders from her hat, the iron had cooled considerably, but they went anyway. I don't like it, muttered Pongwiffy, eyeing the distant treehouse doubtfully. It looks very high up indeed, and Pongwiffy is one of those witches who can't stand heights if there's a broomstick clamped firmly between her knees. Nonsense! We can't even see it from down here, said Sharkadder. That's what I mean! It's too high! I wish I had my broom! Pongwiffy hadn't been able to persuade her broom to come. It had become friendly with Sharkadder's and wanted to stay behind and help sweep up. When Pongwiffy argued, it merely swept away and returned with a copy of the Coven Rule Book, pointing a bristle at rule which said, "Daytime flying on the broomstick is strictly forbidden." "Well, you haven't, and that's that!" snapped Sharkadder. She was beginning to suspect that Pongwiffy had no intention of leaving, ever. Which was true. Pongwiffy enjoyed the breakfasts too much. "You'll have to climb the rope ladder, same as anybody else," she added. "Can I borrow your wand?" said Pongwiffy hopefully. Hers was still in a state of trauma after trying unsuccessfully to cancel out wizard magic. "Certainly not!" Sharkadder was shocked at the request. Wands are not to be used lightly. Serious magic is what they are intended for, and planting lazy witches in treetops could not be considered as serious. Besides, they weren't supposed to borrow wands. It was against the rules, like daytime flying of broomsticks. "You go first, then," said Pongwiffy. "No," said Sharkadder, who didn't like the look of the rope ladder either. No, I'll spoil my makeup. I'll stay down here and catch you if you fall." "Thanks very much," Pongwiffy snapped crossly. "Not at all," snapped back Sharkadder even more crossly, and made a note to break friends as soon as Pongwiffy was settled. Swallowing hard, Pongwiffy caught hold of the flimsy ladder and set her foot on the bottom rung. It swayed alarmingly. "What's the matter? Scared?" jeered Sharkadder, seeing her hesitate. "Who? Me? Certainly not," said Pongwiffy, and started up the lower rungs at a bold run. She had only scrambled a little way when she began to slow down. She already sensed that she was unnaturally high. The air felt colder. A chilly gust of wind blew up her cardigan, and she gripped the thin ropes more firmly. "How much further?" she called down, not liking to look up. "Lots!" came Sharkadder's voice from below. She sounded shockingly far away. "Keep going! You hardly started!" Pongwiffy gulped and forced herself to move on up. Her knees scraped on the tree trunk as she climbed. Bits of moss and tree bark fell in her eyes, and her cardigan kept getting hooked up on the smaller branches.